Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the show today, Lesotho Tzu Chi volunteers are hosting a blessing ceremony to welcome the Lunar New Year. We go to Shiling official residence in Taiwan to explore the first family's way of life and the beauty of the surrounding gardens and ecology. And we join team of doctors in Taiwan as they travel to remote areas to hold free clinics during the New Year holiday. As Chinese communities around the globe are celebrating the Chinese New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers in Lesotho also organized a blessing ceremony to welcome the New Year. Among those participating were children attending a deaf-mute school who have been receiving support from Tzu Chi. To reciprocate Tzu Chi's love and care, these care recipients and others put on a special performances at the event. Let's take a look.
To thank Tzu Chi's ongoing care and love, these disabled care recipients put on a special performance. Despite being deaf-mute, the care recipients are all still able to dance in rhythm as part of their performance to thank the volunteers for their regular care and aid. Care recipients from 20 different communities later joined the volunteers in watching DaAi News and experiencing Tzu Chi's great love. Like volunteers in Lesotho, they regularly deliver aid supplies to doorsteps. Regardless if it is a 90-year-old senior resident or children who have lost their parents, they are all cared for by Tzu Chi.
Tzu Chi is a big family. We are helping no matter. We bring hope to people. We bring love. So we all hope that in the future you are able to help other people.
Under the guidance of the Tzu Chi volunteers, local residents come together as one big family. School children also take this chance to vow to take on Tzu Chi's mission. At the occasion, the participants also pick up blessing and wisdom red envelopes as they experience firsthand the truth that Tzu Chi's love spans the globe.
Moving to Taiwan to make this holiday season more meaningful, Mr. Kang and his family returned to the Jingsi abode in Hualien to volunteer. Over there, Mr. Kang's daughter Kang Yahui volunteered to sell eco-friendly detergent made by the Jingsi abode masters. Meanwhile, instead of watching TV or sleeping all day long, the grandchildren of Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Biping arrived at the Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall to volunteer at the flea market. Today is the third day of the Lunar New Year, and the Jingsi abode in Hualien is filled with volunteers and visitors. This is Kang Yahui, who has been volunteering at the Jingsi abode for the past 4 days, selling eco-friendly detergent made by the Jingsi abode masters. She says it is important to protect our Mother Earth.
I want to protect our planet, and these products are eco-friendly. My legs are sore, but I am still very happy.
To celebrate the Chinese New Year, Kang Jingwen and his family decided to spend the holidays as volunteers at the Jingsi abode.
I love to come back to the Jingsi abode because it is our spiritual home. I thank my children for supporting my wife and I on the Tzu Chi path.
Meanwhile, at the Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall, Tzu Chi volunteers are also celebrating the third day of the Lunar New Year with music, delicious food, and a flea market. Standing beside this young volunteer are his two cousins. The three of them are here to volunteer with their grandmother, Zhang Biping, who is also a Tzu Chi volunteer.
I told them I will be volunteering, and yesterday they told me that they want to participate too.
By volunteering at the Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall with their grandmother, these children have turned the holidays into so much more. Also in Taiwan, for the New Year, many Taiwanese burn paper money or incense at local temples as a way to ask for blessings in the upcoming year. However, to protect the environment, this practice is excluded in Tzu Chi. At the Taoyuan Jingsi Hall, visitors from all walks of life instead found another ways to pray for blessings and welcome the new year.
Here in Taiwan, visitors at the Jingsi Hall in Taoyuan ring a bell of love as they make their vows for the year ahead. It has been great, very stately and serene. Everyone was able to share in the Dharma joy. Zhang Jiafeng came up from Kaohsiung to experience how the activities here at the Taoyuan Jingsi Hall differed from the one in her hometown. Others arrived with their family members in hopes that one day they will join the Tzu Chi family.
It's a different experience from last year. In the past, we went to a temple and it was so smoky that my eyes started to burn. After running around trying this and that, I feel now walking the road of Tzu Chi is simply the best choice.
With his wife and son in tow, like thousands of others, Zhang Kuntai takes time this holiday season to ask for blessings in the year ahead. However, he has decided to do it the Tzu Chi way.
Praying at temples is also about asking for blessings, but there you have spent money to buy just money, which only hurts the environment. I feel what Tzu Chi has going on here is just great.
While Fang Yiwen, who is pregnant, also feels that abundant blessings here.
My parents are in the south, so because of my pregnancy, I decided not to travel so far. This visit to Jingsi Hall has been a great alternative.
Although offering a program that differs from traditional customs, the Jingsi Hall still brims with love and blessings that are only made fuller by the donating of money from bamboo coin banks by visitors.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers around the nation held a variety of activities in celebration of the Lunar New Year, to which local residents were invited to take part. During the event, besides putting on a series of performances and silent shows, volunteers also seized the chance to introduce Tzu Chi to the participants.
Here at Tzu Chi's Wu Yuanwan office in Xiamen, volunteers organize various activities to give locals a better idea of what goes on in Tzu Chi.
Every day I walk by your office, but this is my first time inside.
Inside the office, residents can join the dancing and singing, ring the bell for the new year, or write down their New Year's wish.
Here in southern China, residents usually go to temples to worship the gods, so we try to tell them that the Tzu Chi office is like a temple where they can worship the Buddha.
Meanwhile, in Shanghai's Changfeng Liaison Office, Tzu Chi volunteers make a pilgrimage to welcome the new year and offer their New Year's greeting to those at the Jingse boat in Hualien through a video conference call.
Tzu Chi gives our family spiritual support, which is very moving for us. I put coins into my bamboo bank every day to help those in greater need.
While at Sichuan's Luoshui Service Center, local volunteers were fully responsible for the year's celebration for the first time.
Before, we followed our Tzu Chi brothers and sisters' instructions. Now we know how to welcome the residents, to invite them to watch short videos, and to put on silent performances together. We also hand out candies, wishing them a peaceful New Year.
At this year-end occasion, Tzu Chi volunteers spread their blessings and love around the neighborhood, bringing the residents one step closer to Tzu Chi.
For many Taiwanese, when speaking of the Shiling official residence, a vast stretch of green botanical wonder usually comes into mind. During the period of Japanese occupation, the residence was a horticultural experimental station where many types of tropical plants could be found. Years later, the location became the residence of the late Presidents Chiang Kai-shek and First Lady Song Mei-ling. Until now, the place has been preserved to honor its historical value, but also aims to provide insights into the first host family's way of life while allowing visitors to enjoy the beauty of the surrounding gardens and ecology.
The Shiling official residence was once the residence of the late President Chiang Kai-shek and First Lady Song Mei-ling. Heavily secluded, this historical estate once welcomed many distinguished figures of the time. It is also where policies and diplomatic decisions were discussed and made. Today, visitors from far and near flock here to visit the building and surrounding grounds. The exterior walls of the residence are painted in green, which helps the building blend in with the surrounding woods and hides it from prying eyes. The simple two-story building was where President Chiang Kai-shek and the First Lady lived for 26 years. This building is an amalgamated wooden structure with reinforced concrete and a slanted roof. The two-story mansion occupies approximately 660 square meters of space on each floor. The simple yet elegant interior is a reflection of the First family's frugal and unassuming lifestyle. In his free time, President Chiang would spend time by the pond feeding the fish. Walking onto the estate of the Shiling official residence, not only can visitors sense the elegance left behind from a critical era in the nation's history, but can also witness the First family's modest lifestyle during that time. All this was once a mystery, nestled among the lush trees which surrounded it.
The construction of the entrance was only completed in 1998, and in the years that the First family resided here, Fuling Road was entirely covered by trees, making the entrance invisible to outsiders.
The estate, once heavily fortified and secluded, was finally opened to the public in 1996. In 2000, it was classified as a historical site, and in 2005, it was reclassified as a national historical site. We receive a lot of tourists from central and southern Taiwan. There are many from Taipei as well. Of course, most of the visitors come to this place on account of its reputation. Many tourists from China, whether traveling alone or part of a tour group, all hope to witness the former lifestyle of the First family. The expansive and elegant garden was once a horticultural station during the Japanese colonial era, before later becoming the First family's personal garden.
The roses planted alongside the plum blossoms were the two flowers most favored by the President and the First Lady. At times, when President Chiang took walks around the garden, he would ask his staff to trim the finest plum blossoms for Madam Chiang.
This is the First Lady's beloved rose garden. The couple would often admire the flowers here. Today, the garden is administered by the municipal government, and periodic flower shows will be held throughout the year. Because of its historical importance, the late President's former residence is now a historical site, but this heritage is slowly fading into the distance.
A lot of elementary school students have no idea who he is, because for them it's too long ago in history, so we will tell them that this is the home of the man whose portrait is on the coins.
Lifting the veil of mystery attached to the Shiling official residence, visitors now have the opportunity to experience the elegance of that era and at the same time create their own memorable moments as well.
In the Philippines, a local volunteer learns about forgiveness through her participation in the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra. In turn, with sharing her story at the year-end celebration in Rizal Province, she inspired an audience member to repair her relationship with her family. But first, let's take a look at how 300 Filipino volunteers overcame language barriers to participate in the sutra performance.
Here in the Philippines, a group of local volunteers are practicing their parts in the upcoming sign language performance, despite not being able to speak Mandarin.
It's important to concentrate. I put the songs in my phone. This way, when I'm cooking, I can practice too.
Since December of last year, 300 local volunteers have been hard at work rehearsing for Rizal Province year-end celebration. In order to participate, most volunteers had to learn Mandarin.
They're able to understand the meaning behind the sutra because they know what the words they sing mean. This way they can apply it to their daily life, and so their movements are much better now.
Not only practicing hard, but decorating the performance hall is also important.
We have rehearsals in the afternoon, so we came earlier to set up the venue. This way there's more people helping.
I hope that when we actually perform the musical, everyone signs correctly. When we rehearse, the wrong movements are corrected.
Velma Miraz, a local volunteer who ran away from home at the age of 16 because of her cruel stepmother, was finally able to learn forgiveness after participating in the Water Repentance Sutra.
My stepmother sent me a telegram and said my father had passed away and told me to come home.
Over the past 20 years, Miraz never really let go of the anger in her heart.
I finally let go of the hatred in my heart, and the pain I felt lessened as time went on. I started to learn about forgiveness. Now I'm finally able to forgive my father and stepmother.
Mira's life story moved an audience member who relates to the story of running away from problems, as Ruby Obayas also left behind her husband and 2 kids.
Sometimes I'll get upset at the tiniest things. My temper affects my life a lot. I hope I can change that about myself.
Many government officials also attended the year-end celebration in Antipolo City, Rizal Province, while some participants travel from other cities.
Although I have mobility problems, I still wanted to come join in the year-end celebration. Being able to receive Master Zheng Yan's blessing for the year ahead makes it all worth it.
With their wisdom and blessing red envelope in hand, these local residents return home filled with the Master's good wishes for the year ahead.
Also in Southeast Asia, but in Malaysia, for the upcoming performance of the adaptation of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings in Penang, close to 1,500 volunteers have gathered together, and among the participants is volunteer Ling Cifeng. Due to physical deformities in her fingers, Ling was originally uncertain about participating, but after remembering the teachings of Master Zheng Yan, Ling put aside her doubts and went on to become her team's top performer.
A total of 1,500 volunteers have gathered here at the Jinsi Hall for their dress rehearsal. Among them is Lin Cifeng, who once thought of giving up because she was afraid her deformed fingers would ruin the unity of the movements.
I didn't want to take part as my fingers are really awful to look at, bent and twisted while everyone else's are smooth and straight. But then I thought about how all the Tzu members are taking part, so I decided to be brave and take advantage of this opportunity.
Ling is a seamstress, and her bent fingers are the result of years of pressing down on fabric as she works. However, after joining the Sutra performance, she found the chronic pain in her fingers were long forgotten.
Only by taking part in the sign language performance will you understand the deeper meaning. If you don't do it, there's nothing. As long as we walk with the Master, we will be correct.
In the end, not only has Lin become a perfect addition to the performance, but in the process, her determination and belief in the Buddha's teachings has grown ever deeper.
Moving back to Taiwan, while most people are on holidays celebrating the Chinese New Year, team and medical staff in both Tainan and Taichung are taking this time to help those living on the fringes of society. Tainan Tzu Chi volunteers and medical staff arrived at a homeless service stop to provide medical treatment, while in Taichung, the team and medical staff there traveled to remote areas to hold free clinics. Let's take a look.
Carefully treating each of his patients is Song Li-an, who has personally experienced the impermanence of life after his mother and grandmother passed away from cancer.
Most of the patients today are senior residents and children, all of whom have difficulty getting treatment. Each time we come, we go to these remote mountainous areas to hold free clinics.
Like many team and medical staff from central Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteer Gao Manzhu always makes time for these free clinics and helps ready the medical equipment before the event. Seeing those less fortunate has inspired Gao to cherish what she has.
We were all born the same way, but into different families. Coming here inspires our love, and in that way, we won't quit on the road ahead.
Tzu Chi volunteers and medical staff all vow to continue to help those in need. Also reaching out to those in need are Tainan's team of medical staff, who treat each patient like family. Doctors remind each of the homeless to take note of their blood pressure as well as their blood sugar level. Chinese medicine doctors are also available to help soothe some of the patient's aches and pains. Guo Hanzhen, who is currently studying acupuncture in China, also seizes the New Year's holiday to give.
I really want to improve my medical skills and at the same time do good deeds.
Now a medical intern, Hong Yu-yo, is putting his expertise to good use.
Turning our profession into a service to help others is in fact really meaningful.
Together, team of medical staff and Tzu Chi volunteers are working to bring love and warmth to those living on the fringes of society.
In North America, the Tzu Chi Canada chapter held a traditional Chinese medicine free clinic and seminar where practitioners spoke about dealing with stress and depression. At the conclusion of the seminar, patients had an opportunity to get their health checked by the doctors on hand.
In Canada, Tzu Chi volunteers held a Chinese medicine seminar about maintaining a healthy body. Besides talking about the health of those who suffer disabilities, the seminar also addressed the issue of depression when faced with the cold, gloomy winter days.
Everyone experiences stress, and where does that stress come from? Stress comes from when we are faced with a harsh environment.
By explaining where stress comes from, audience members can learn how to deal with the stress in their life. A practitioner reminds Tzu Chi's medical staff to keep safe while helping patients.
When faced with conditions such as tuberculosis or influenza, we will encourage you to wear surgical masks.
At the conclusion of the seminar, the free clinic commences with doctors listening to the ailments of patients and prescribing the right medicine to assist residents in a full recovery.
We go to Australia at the end of our show to help victims of January's flooding in Queensland. Sydney Tzu Chi volunteers seize every opportunity to fundraise, whether it be canvassing for donations on the streets or inviting participations at tea gatherings to make contributions. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.